All right, we're going to be looking at section 10.4, hypothesis test for a population standard deviation. So the one objective is just test hypothesis about the population standard deviation. So if you go through the reading, it talks about how when we use these distributions, we don't really account for the variability in the standard deviation that will vary from sample to sample. So this distribution is going to follow the chi-square distribution, and so they're showing you how to pronounce it. It looks like chi-square, but it's pronounced chi-square. This is only going to be used if the data, the sample, come from a normally distributed population, mean, mu, standard deviation, population standard deviation, sigma. Degrees of freedom n-1, and s squared is the sample variance. So the characteristics, this is not symmetric, so you can kind of see some different shapes. The shape of the chi-square distribution depend on the degrees of freedom, just as with the student t distribution. As the number of degrees of freedom increase, that is, the sample size get bigger, it becomes more symmetric. So you can kind of see this figure 20, the purple one is almost normal. So this is 30 degrees of freedom. And then the value of the chi-square are non-negative. So it's not like centered around 0 like the other ones are. These are always greater than or equal to 0. The same metrics for test are going to be applied. The mean will always contain equality, two-tailed, non-equal, left, less than, right, greater than. This is an example showing you how to compute the test statistic, as we will do this with technology and mainly focus on interpretation. And here is showing you by hand, going through an example step by step. So great reading and great way to kind of get an example and kind of test it on your own. And that is pretty much the data that we have. And from here, we're just going to jump into statistic. So when you do StatCrunch, it's letting you know that we're going to do the variance stat test, one sample with data or summary.